All right, hey people, this is Chris Lucas. Today is October 2nd, 2021. It's about 6 p.m., 6:10 p.m. Here in Indiana. Anyway, I made a video earlier, and I kind of want to do this one a little bit quicker, and just I think I figured out a way to get more to the point. Okay, we know a lot of people know the WHO changed the definition of herd immunity. And so that's what I got up here is it shows that according to the WHO on June 9th, 2020, herd immunity was defined as the indirect protection from an infectious disease that happens when a population is immune either through vaccination or immunity developed through previous infection. So that's what it used to be, June 9th. Now, right before, that's on June 9th, 2020. So now what they changed it to on November, you can see the CDC's website right here. But just so we can get a close-up view, it says a concept used for vaccination in which the population can be protected from a certain virus if a threshold of vaccination is reached. Okay, it's nothing to do with immunity now. It's just what herd immunity. They're saying it has nothing to do with immunity. It only has to do with vaccination, but which basically just means injection, because now the WHO also changed the definition of vaccination. And what does vaccination say? It says an injection. Okay, before 2015, it said an injection of a killed or weakened infectious organism in order to prevent the disease, such as a bacteria or a virus. So normally they'd weaken it and shoot you up with it, and that's how they prevented disease, and you got immunity from it. But now the definition says, in 2015 to 2021, the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce immunity to a specific disease. So now no longer are you using the actual virus or bacteria that causes the disease. You're just introducing something into your body to produce immunity to a specific disease. So as long as you can stop whatever virus you were intending, it doesn't necessarily have to have the weakened or killed infectious organism. But then right before Biden made this thing mandatory, it says September 2021, the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce protection from a specific disease. So it's protection, not even immunity, okay? So the word immunity is no longer there because it doesn't make you immune. They say it provides protection, but okay, so a vaccine only provides protection. It doesn't provide immunity. So how do you get herd immunity? This doesn't say herd protection. It says herd immunity. It doesn't say herd vaccination. It says herd immunity. See, the only thing I think this is really given the herd immunity to is freedom. Because it's not immune. You're not immune to a virus. So, and I understand there's people out there that don't even believe in germ theory and believe in terrain theory. And I admit, I think terrain theory makes a lot of sense, but I'm not going to go into that on this video. But my key thing is herd immunity. Like, this is herd protection, right? Because vaccination now does not mean it can give you immunity. And we know people who have the COVID vaccine who's gotten vaccinated twice. I know people personally that told me they got vaccinated 2 times, still got COVID, and they said their lungs felt like they were going to explode. So now now this is a concept for vaccination. So let's say a concept used for protection in which the population can be protected from a certain virus if the threshold of protection is reached. But see, it doesn't give you immunity. So how do you get protected from a certain virus? I mean, like, does it mean like it's going to give you? Okay, so you're just getting protection, but you're not getting immunity, so you're not stopping the virus. So herd immunity is achieved by protecting people from a virus, not by exposing them to it. So you could basically say that lockdowns give people herd immunity, right? Because see, it's achieved by protecting people. So if people aren't talking to other people and they aren't leaving their house, all of a sudden you created herd immunity. Is that it? Or it's got to like combine both these things. But see, it's achieved by protecting people from a virus, not by exposing them to it. But you're going to get exposed to it if people can get COVID-19 after being vaccinated. So the CDC, and I should bring this up too. I mean, this is an important point. Because on my main webpage, yeah, I'm sorry for anyone who watched my earlier show. This is just kind of a repeat. I just want to make a specific video just for this one thing. But I want to show people that even the fact checkers, when I basically wrote a statement about how this vaccine doesn't protect anyone, look what they wrote to me. I mean, because I said the vaccine doesn't work because I stated all these people that kept getting it. So then they fact checked me. All right. So here's a little fact check thing. And it says, a vaccinated person is not wrong to think an unvaccinated person is a threat to their health. So you basically agreed to me that vaccinated people can still get COVID. And if they're a threat, that means it didn't really protect them. It doesn't mean it makes them less sick, because if an unvaccinated person's a threat to you, then so is a vaccinated person. So is everybody. So if they're still a threat, guess what that means? That means the vaccine didn't work, right? Or what this thing you're calling a vaccine doesn't work, because I don't even think it's a vaccine. So we can see here that even they agree with me that a vaccinated person's not wrong to think an unvaccinated person's a threat to their health. So we see that they agree with me. So now I'm like really confused. So if an unvaccinated person's a threat to you, so are the vaccinated people, because they can still get COVID. So how did you achieve herd immunity? Because if I'm a threat, then they're a threat. But now you're saying herd immunity is achieved by protecting people from a virus, not by exposing them to it. But I mean, that was the whole point of a vaccine, wasn't it? I mean, has anyone ever, like, when you were a kid and you got chicken pox, did anyone go, oh man, you're going to need a vaccine? No, you weren't worried about chicken pox for the rest of your life, were you? Anyone that's ever got any vaccine, there's never been a time that I know of up until 2020 when someone's like, hey, I got this vaccine, I'm totally scared. Because you know why? The person probably wouldn't have done it. But somehow they're brainwashing you into thinking that this is science now, and somehow people are believing it. And I mean, I'm just having like trouble understanding how this can even be called herd immunity. I guess so. That's basically my real question. How can this be called herd immunity now? I mean, the indirect protection from an infectious disease that happens when a population is immune, either through vaccination or immunity developed through previous infection. That's what it said on June 9th of 2020. But that's no longer the case. They leave natural immunity out. Like I said, people, they don't even give you T cell test memory T cell test before you take this vaccine. So how do they know you didn't already have immunity? You don't even know. So even these people that are vaccinated tell me, oh, I think it works. How do you know? You were never even given a T cell test to see if you were already had immunity anyway. So no one can really say whether it works or not. It says now there are new definitions. It says a concept used for vaccination in which the population can be protected from a certain virus if a threshold of vaccination is reached. But how are they protected? Because you just told me, fact check, that an unvaccinated, the fact checkers just told me that a vaccinated person is not wrong to think an unvaccinated person is a threat to their health. So how is the population protected once that threshold of vaccination is reached if the virus is still a threat to these individuals? Like, and it doesn't stop transmission. And then it's like you took the word immunity out of vaccination, so vaccination doesn't even give immunity anymore. So how is herd immunity achieved when vaccination doesn't even give immunity? You see what my problem is? And so, I mean, that's it. That's all I want to stress, and if someone could help me understand that, please help me understand. I mean, that's what my question boils down to. You took out the word immunity out of vaccination. So now the act of introducing a vaccine to the body to produce protection from a specific disease. So it's no longer gives you immunity. And then, right over here, we go to herd immunity, a concept used for vaccination in which the population can be protected from vaccination if a threshold of vaccination is reached. But like the word herd immunity loses all meaning now because this vaccine cannot give you, this is not giving you immunity according to your definition of vaccine. So how does this apply to herd immunity? Like, that is the one main point I wanted to get, because that's what I should have started my video out with. So sorry. I should just start out by saying I don't understand herd immunity when the word vaccination, as defined by the CDC and everybody else, says vaccination doesn't give you immunity. So how can you get herd immunity? This should be called herd vaccination, but herd vaccination doesn't mean nothing to us because, no one's ever talked about herd vaccination. It's always been herd immunity. But anyway, I don't want to keep going.